Yo, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It's August 9th. I want to do a quick video on the markets, simply because we've had a lot of whipsaw and squeezes up and down. Now, remember at the beginning of the week, on Monday, we had started off the market here Sunday and Monday way the heck down here, right? And as soon as the market actually opened on Monday morning, BTC actually absorbed a lot of the selling and started to shoot back up the rest of the week. So now we're sitting here Friday, opening Monday pretty much down at 49K, and now on a Friday, which is 4 days later, somewhere around 60,000, right? I think that's an incredible movement. And that's, huge for BTC to make such a monumental move. Okay. So now I want to show you guys a different perspective of exactly what I think is going on in this area, which is still, in my opinion, still a very large range. And you could even make the argument that it could be like a big bull flag or a descending channel. However you really want to look at it, you can paint it that way, right? This could be a massive sort of bull flag, which again, I think is fair. Okay. The problem with bull flags is that when you have, let's just say this is your pole and this is your flag, right? In the flag itself, when you have had, this is March and we're now almost in, mid-August, right? So mid-March to mid-August, that's April, May, June, July, August. That's 5 months of sideways and downtrending consolidation that needs to show us that it's ready to break out, right? That's how a bull flag is validated. In the bull flag itself, what happens is you have, okay, let's zoom out even further to a higher time frame. In a bull flag itself, what happens is you may create a downtrending, okay, inadvertently, right? Not inadvertently because it's part of the market. So what you have now is a high, a low, a lower high right here, a lower low, and then another lower high and another lower low. Now, people make the argument that, oh, well, this is not really a lower low because the candle itself was mostly wick and it squeezed back up. Okay. But prior to this happening, right, we were already in a downtrend. This and this was dictating a downtrend. So I have to take into account and say, well, I think higher likelihood that this is still part of a local downtrend. Now, I don't mean we're in a downtrend at large because since the bottom of November 2022, we've actually been in an uptrend, right? So everything is context of, time range, as well as how you want to look at the context of this bottom, and then this, quote unquote top, if you will. Okay. So now that we've made that clear, now let's start going back and dialing back a little bit more. Let's go to a different chart, which is this one right here. Something that I've sort of identified and talked about before. This is also on my Twitter feed, by the way. You can kind of look at this, particular stance of my view of looking at the market. And here I'm going to identify what I think is going on. Okay, so once again, we have this massive uptrend in BTC, of course, for almost 6-7 years, right? Obviously, no one is discounting that we're in a massive uptrend. Bitcoin and crypto is a very secular, bullish technological asset class. Okay, no one's saying that. What I'm trying to identify is, where are we in the cycle? Are we in a massive, uptrend where we're going to sort of go parabolic like this, like we did in 2017? Or are we here in the 2019, 2020 era where we go sideways for a while? We had this like mid-cycle breakout, but didn't really break out until, let's just say this COVID crash, and then this happened, right? So that means that we are actually on track of something like this. Again, the COVID crash doesn't necessarily need to happen again to a similar degree, but in my opinion, I believe we're already in it. We're already in some sort of, larger correction on the way down. And you can look at the sideways consolidation that we had, which was approximately 230 days from this mid-cycle high. So remember, in 2017, we had topped 2000, 1 year later, December. So December top 17, December 2018 bottom, mid-cycle breakout, top in June, 6 months later, and about maybe year and a quarter later, we had this big sharp sell-off, which is a COVID sell-off. Maybe it didn't need to happen. So let's just say, we count this as the bottom, right? So from June all the way down to about December 2019, okay? So that's approximately another 6 months that we had a downtrending market like this until we were ready to break out. And then we had the COVID crash, then we took off. So if we map similar stages of this market in 2019 and 20, now again, we're looking at this market with the assumption that we're somewhere very close to what the 2019 and 20 market was like, excluding the COVID crash, by the way. So which means that, we've already completed approximately 150 days. I think we have another 50 to 75 days left of a larger consolidation period left for this style of regime that we were in 2019/2020, right? Which means that'll take us probably pretty much till the end of the year, right? And at the end of the year, or quite possibly, let's just say, late October, early November, we're going to have probably another, consolidation and a breakdown, and that may take us somewhere around maybe 40K, or the yearly open of 2024, which is around 42K. And then we start the new cycle in December or January 2025 for the next big leg of the market, which will then be like this that we had in 2021 right here. Okay. I believe that's the kind of situation that we're in. And then if you actually look at that kind of similar, trace out, what that does is it also creates a massive, massive inverse head and shoulders, which is, this is your left shoulder, this is your head, and this is that deep, not deep, but somewhat of a middle to shallow right shoulder. And then that will give us a massive, massive runway for 2025. Okay. So I think this is the kind of pattern that we're in. All right. I don't believe locally we are in a uptrend. At best, we're sideways consolidating like here. And at worst, maybe let's just say you have another, sell-off down, but that may happen another month or two, right? Somewhere in the middle ground is that maybe we don't break this range. Maybe we just have already bottomed and we're just going to continue sideways and grind up slowly. That's also possible. I'm not out here just trying to relentlessly short the market or FUD the market. Just, my general outlook on the view of the markets. Okay. Now, if we look at, let's just say ETH, for example, I think ETH has probably one of the worst looking charts right now. It looked good much earlier, but obviously the last week or two of selling has completely sort of broken structure. And you can see this is our private indicator that we use. Once you generally start breaking inside this trend maker ribbon right here, which is this orange and red ribbon, you're looking at a more pronounced downtrend for probably several weeks, maybe several months ahead. In which case we may be looking at, prices close to $2,000, maybe down to 1,800, bottoming out somewhere again around November to December. Okay. And that's again kind of going off what effectively happened in this particular area back here, or similar to the COVID crash, right? So I think we've already had that. We might be in the midst of a larger correction downward. And I think that's going to take us somewhere around, like I said, 1,700. Then after that, once we bottom, I think we begin our next leg up in ETH. Solana, I think, probably looks much better. I think Solana is probably, one of the better looking assets. It has bounced off the trend maker ribbon. Again, this is a weekly chart, right? So we're not talking about 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 4 hours. We're talking about a weekly chart. Weekly chart, I still don't see Solana having broken the previous all-time high. So I think, in my opinion, again, this is almost 5.5 months or 5 months of sideways price action. Sure, we bounced off, a very key level, but bouncing off that key level should send us higher. And until it does, you have to assume that you're still in a local downtrend, right? And if that downtrend persists, like we expect for BTC and ETH, then we should be expecting something like I don't know, maybe some rough prices somewhere around $75 down to a low of $50. Okay. So I think what may happen effectively is we may be in a very low volatility period, a deeper correction on the way down. If we kind of throw on some levels here, yeah, there it is. So we have two interesting things, okay? Number one, we have the yearly VWAP, which we actually bounced off of right here. We came very close to the yearly open, which is down here around 101, right? Solana currently sits at the previous quarterly mid, and it sits slightly above the VWAP quarterly. If in the next month or two, we start slowly, chopping and grinding down through these levels, again, that validates my concern of the market, which is that this is still, your downtrend, and you're going to have a persistent breakdown into September, October, November. Okay. So that's pretty much it, of my general outlay of the market. I think we are more aligned with the 2019 and 2020 period, where we're going to continue to chop and grind downward. I think there will be certain outperformance from, let's just say, new aspects of the market. Again, me being the creator of Roaring Kitty, I'm always going to say that I think base chain itself is going to put on a pretty solid performance, pretty much the end of the year in 2025. I think base chain is extremely fast growing, chain that is likely going to dominate all L2s like Arbitrum and Avalanche and Polygon, Optimism. I think base is going to be the best performer, and it's going to attract a lot of users and money. Now, I'll be fair and say right now that does not look likely. I think a lot of money and volume and overall activity has pretty much died down for the last several months. And I think that may not stop until maybe like September at some point. Okay. With that being said, I still think meme coins are probably going to be one of the best performing, segments of the market, simply because it's the most like degenerate part of the market, and everybody wants to bid memes, and it's a very simple aspect of the market that everyone understands. So I think, keeping an eye on Roaring Kitty. I even did an update this morning. Make sure y'all follow us in the Telegram channel. Kitty on Base is the Telegram channel. I provide, pretty much updates at least 2-3 times a week of exactly what we have game plan ahead. We have different KOLs and influencers talking about us, meme contests that we're hosting, all kinds of stuff that we're doing, competitions, meme competitions, raid competitions, etc. So however you want to earn tokens or earn money, we have that opportunity for you. We have a pretty active community, I would say. A lot of people who are constantly grinding for us, a lot of good solid memes that we have. So a large part of the community is extremely, still active, bullish, and ready to sort of grind with us for the remainder of this year and going forward, right? So yeah, other aspects of the market, I mean, there's really not a whole lot going on. There's maybe like random projects that are popping off here and there. Like someone was telling me about this airdrop from Soulcat. Again, Solana is a very mixed bag of exactly, just a lot of pump and dumps. Same thing really with any other chain. I'm not going to blame Solana. It's Base, it's Solana, it's ETH. A lot of meme coinery is more related to pump and dumps than not. You also have this unique project, things that are coming out that are interesting, right? So for example, if you guys are familiar with Unibot, which was the first Telegram bot, Telegram trading bot. This thing started off, sometime in mid-June, started to rip up July, August, and went all the way to 200 million market cap. This is, allowing trading right through Telegram. Lexi AI is very similar, except it's doing WhatsApp trading. Right, so you can actually check this out, play with it on your own. Go to their website here. And just full disclosure, I already have a small position in it. But point is, you can use crypto trading as a bot through WhatsApp. So very similar to Telegram. Yeah, the upside potential is, in my opinion, massive if it does really well. And it's like the first to market. It captures a large amount of audience to, enable that kind of trading, right? If it does that really well, sky's the limit. If it doesn't, then 3.5 million is not a bad area to get in. But again, not investment advice, just letting you know products like this are unique in that they're going to bring a different set of audience, a new category that's being created. So you want to keep an eye on things like this, right? Rather than your typical, 90th sort of DeFi product, right? Okay, so that's it. Just my general thoughts on the market. Let's see how things go. Again, even with US equities, I'm still not necessarily sure exactly where that's going. Um, from per our indicators, we already tagged, or is it I think we already tagged the yearly VWAP. Yeah, right there, yearly VWAP here on the S&P 500. And I think we also did the same on NASDAQ as well. Yeah, yearly VWAP right there, monthly VWAP. So all things, we actually found a lot of support on, not only NASDAQ, but S&P 500. Now the question is it sustainable at these levels, or is it going to break down over the next, several weeks, right? Whether it's recession fears, macro fears, war-related fears from the Middle East, et cetera. And if that's the case, then you have to look a little bit deeper. The way I look at it is, I think, if NASDAQ really breaks, from a larger view perspective, I would actually think that it's going to come back to these levels. Let me show you exactly how I think of it. I think it's going to come back to 16,000 right here. Okay. That's the NASDAQ futures, and then for the S&P 500. And again, not saying that we have to go to those levels, but I'm saying if things do really break down, the yearly open for the S&P 500 is somewhere around 4,700, right? Do I think it's going to reach all the way down? Probably not, but we can go a little bit deeper. We can probably go to 5,000, 4,900. Okay, that's again if we have one more breakdown in us. Okay, I think the VIX volatility was already especially high, and I think that vol is going to come off over the next several weeks. And that's going to suppress and dampen the volatility in the markets. And I think that will create, either a slow, choppy consolidation, or even if it's, a move down, it may be probably really slow. I think the VIX got really, really ahead of itself in terms of fear in the market. And I think this fear and sentiment was really ramped up. So I'm not necessarily sure that the move down in the S&P 500 is going to be in the same fashion that we had earlier this week, right? But again, this is not really an inspiring sort of turnaround yet. I think more has to be made of a bottom from this. So we'll see. Anyway, that's all I have. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. Here's 0xML, or Warpcast, same thing, 0xML. And yeah, come join our Roaring Kitty Telegram group. We have a lot of fun. We have a good time. All right. You guys take care. Cheers, and then we'll catch up real soon.